First up, have the Vice President of Education, Spurti, give us an update on the roles open for the next meeting.
Good evening, everyone. One speech slot is booked by Toastmaster Varaprasad, and table topic master has been taken by Toastmaster Indrani. Rest all the roles are open. Interested members, please contact me. Thank you, and back to the president.
Thank you, Spurti, for that update. Secondly, we had our club contest on the 14th of this month. And it gives me great pleasure to announce that Toastmaster Balaji will be representing Mekong Communication Club in the International Speech Contest at the area level. And for the evaluation and table topic contest, we have Toastmaster Supreet representing us for both. The area contest will be held on 19th of March. All other meeting details will be shared with you shortly. We hope to see a huge number of audience from Mekong attending the same and cheering for members of our club who have qualified to represent us in the area contest. Next up, we won the Super 7 award recently because all of the 7 executive committee members attended the club officers training program. So let's give all of ourselves a round of applause for having bagged this award. Lastly, I would request all members, please open your Basecamp feedback, keep it open on another tab. And as and when the meeting progresses, please do go there and enter your feedback for the role takers who have shown up today and taken up any role in today's meeting. With that, I would like to conclude the business session and hand over charge to the Sergeant at Arms for the day. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I hope I'm audible and clear. So, firstly, what is meant by family? Family is one of the greatest gift and a blessing we all have. It is a gem which shall always be cherished along with us. And whom we include is ultimately our choice. Our family is not only a home, but it's also a place where we learned our first lesson, where we met our first teachers, our parents, and where we learned to fall and rise with our first walk. We also made little mistakes. They were maybe an erroneous mistakes, but were definitely were forgiven by our parents. It is the place where we bloomed from a tiny little seedling to a flower and ultimately to a fruit. During the little moments of achievements in high school or the greatest failures during the teenage period, or maybe even a midlife crisis during our 30s, everything is being handled, everything has been spent and in every moment our family is with us. Together we held each other's hand and stuck to each other. Whatever happens, life is short and every moment and every second should be cherished. Family is maybe just a planet in our whole universe. We may never know that there will be a time when we have to leave our planet of family and go to explore this huge universe. So I think until we are in this planet, we should cherish every second and not waste even a single minute. Family is ultimately the only place where we are forgiven and tiny achievements are praised. Our president here, who recently qualified as a chartered accountant, and she has been an N2 cutlet who loves playing guitar and practicing yoga. She has held a lot of positions in Toastmasters Club, starting from Secretary, VPM, and Associate VP PR and VP Education. Please help me introduce our president, Toastmaster Ankita.
Thank you for the very warm introduction, Vaishnavi. First up, can I call up the secretary of the club, Toastmaster Bhavani, to read out the minutes of the meeting number 1148 and 1149.
Thank you so much, President Toastmaster Ankita. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1148, which was held on 7th of February 2022, with the theme comfortable with being uncomfortable, and the word of the week was congenial. The business session started at 6:20 p.m. and was chaired by our President Toastmaster Ankita. In the business session, the Vice President Education Toastmaster Spooty mentioned that the roles of SA, Contest Master, Tally Counter, and the Timer are open for the club contest. The VPPR announced the title of the newsletter, Happiness is Not by Chance, but by Choice, and requested the members to submit their articles before 28th of February 2022. The president announced that the YouTube channel of Mekong Communication Club has over 550 hours of viewing time and crossed 7,500 views. She requested the members to keep the base cam open to provide the feedback to the speakers as well as the role takers. The president requested the members to prepare for the club contest, which will be held on 14th of February, and the interested members are to give the names to the vice president membership, Toastmaster Gaurav, by 11th of February. The regular meeting started at 6:23 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Vaishnavi started the meeting with an introduction about the team and then handed it over to the President Toastmaster Ankita, who opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Prashant. The Master of Ceremonies then spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day: the Timer, Distinguished Toastmaster Udanka; our Counter, Toastmaster Rashmi; Grammarian, Toastmaster Bhavani; PP Evaluator, Toastmaster Rashmi. The prepared speech session had two speakers: Distinguished Toastmaster Amitabha Saharoy, attempting his Level 2 Project 2 speech, which was evaluated by Toastmaster Lalana Murthy. The second speaker, Toastmaster Balaji AS, attempting his Level 5 Project 1 speech, which was evaluated by Distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara. The table topic session had 9 speakers and was conducted by Toastmaster Monish. The speakers were Toastmaster Sai Snail, Distinguished Toastmaster Udanka, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, Toastmaster Sharanye, Toastmaster Lalana, Distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara, Toastmaster Bhavani, Distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhatt, Toastmaster Ankita. The general evaluation was conducted by Distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhatt, and the winners of the week were the best prepared speaker by Toastmaster Balaji. The best evaluator was Distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara. The best table topic speaker was a tie between Distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhatt and Distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara. The best role taker, Tab G, Toastmaster Bhavani; MTG, Distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhatt. The president closed the meeting at 8:05 p.m. And here are the minutes of meeting of 1149 meeting, which was held on 14th of February. It was a club contest and it was started at 6:23 p.m. and was chaired by the contest chair, Ankita Khetawat, and the chief judge, Lalana Murthy. Sergeant at Arms Sanjana Prabhanjan started the meeting and later handed over the charge to the contest chair, who introduced the contest master Spurti. The following were the role takers for the contest. There were 2 timers, Nakul Jairam and Indrani. The 2 counters were Rashmi Joshi and Prashant. The Sergeant at Arms by Sanjana, the moderator Bhavani, the 2 contest masters Purti and Shiv Prasad. The first contest which was held was the International Speech Contest, and the contestants were Prakash R, Balaji AS, and Supreet Dambal. The next contest master was Toastmaster Shiv Prasad, who conducted the table topics contest, and there were 5 contestants who were Supreet Dambal, Gaurav Ramesh, Balaji AS, Sai Snehal Reddy, and Prakash R. The contest master Spurti conducted the evaluation contest, which had 3 contestants: Prakash R, Balaji AS, and Supreet Dambal. These were the winners of the contest. The first place for the international speech contest was by Balaji AS, and the second place by Supreet Dambal. The table topics contest, the first place by Supreet Dambal and the second place by Sai Snehal Reddy. The evaluation contest, first place by Supreet Dambal, The second place by Prakash R. And the contest ended at 8:55 p.m. This is my report as a secretary. Back to you, President Toastmaster Ankita.
Any changes that have been proposed to both the minutes? Okay, let's give Bhavani a round of applause for reading 2 minutes perfectly and flawlessly. With that, I open meeting number 1150. A very, very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I see a few guests in our meeting today. I would request them to unmute themselves as I call them out and just tell a few words about how they got to know about Toastmasters and what they're expecting. Can we have Mukesh first, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello.
can. Go ahead.
Yes, yeah, my name is Mukesh and I'm currently doing BBA and I'm from Bangalore only. How I got to know about Toastmasters through my dad. Actually, he was reading a book, and through that book, he read that Toastmaster Club promotes communication skills as well as leadership skills. And at my age, this is a great advantage for anyone actually. But for me, it's a great time to learn communication as well as leadership skills. So that's why I'm trying out. So if it's good enough, I'll get in the club also. Yeah, thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Mukesh, and hope to see you join our club. You're in the right place. You can polish your leadership skills and your communication skills here. Can we have Shiva Sajjan next?
Very good evening, team. Myself, Shivraj Sajjanar. Basically, I am from Hubli. This is, I got to know this Toastmaster from my friend Shashi.
Great. Thank you, Shiva. Hope you enjoy today's meeting and hope to see you join us soon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It is said that the only thing that's constant in our life is change. And probably the only exception to this saying is family. No matter how much we change, no matter how much success or failure we taste in life, the one constant in our life is family. Our friends might change, we might lose touch with some and never talk to some again. But family will always be there for you, irrespective of the metamorphoses that you go through in life. Often we take our family for granted very easily. You might partly justify it by saying that since you know they will never leave you, you treat them however you want to. But the love and warmth that your parents and siblings can give you is incomparable to that of any other human being in the entire universe. Back when I was in school, every summer we would visit my hometown, Kolkata. Meeting my extended family after a long year used to be very heartwarming and the most awaited period of my entire year. My grandparents would keep me as pampered as possible with my favorite food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I would absolutely enjoy going shopping, hanging out with cousins, staying up late at night, watching the silliest of movies, and singing songs. After 2 months of summer was over, it used to be time to come back to pavilion, back to school. And once all of us would get back home, we would instantly realize how lonely it felt all of a sudden. It felt strange to be having a meal on the table just with my parents and sister, and falling asleep at 10 p.m. became a nightmare. It was these times that made me realize that every second you spend with your family is absolutely worth it, even if it messes up with your sleep cycle. They are the people who are going to be there for you through all your up and downs and will be your guide whenever you need it. So here's to cherishing the small moments we spend with our family and giving them all of the love that they deserve. And today, to give us the quality meeting that we deserve, we have one of the most active members of our club take the stage as the MC. He has studied in Auden Public School and is currently studying in Transcend College. He is in his BCom third year. His hobbies are playing cricket, chess, and badminton, and he says that dancing is his passion. He's a Western dancer and has also cleared all 5 levels. He's represented his school for the chess competition and has also played chess in the district level. Okay, I think he must be really, really brainy in that case. And he's also completed his NLP Foundation training. With a huge round of applause, please let me welcome our TMOD for the day, Toastmaster Ujjwal. Over to you, Toastmaster Ujjwal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankita, for such a lovely introduction. A very happy evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The time spent with family is worth every second. How many of you agree with me? Almost everyone, right? But in this busy schedule, how many of you are actually spending quality time with your family? Yes, there you go. I can see only quite a few of you are raising their hands. While it is true that the family is forever, it is important that the family is healthy. Your family will be healthy if you give it time. Family time is an essential factor that helps to create strong bonds, love, connections, and relationship among the people, among the family members. Spending quality time with family does help in coping up with the challenges, instill a feeling of security, inculcate family values, fill kids with confidence, and much more. And the last year, my family had been to our native place and unexpectedly lockdown happened. Those 2 months was the best memories of my entire life. We all enjoyed it thoroughly. In that Halli Mane, there was a backyard where we used to play cards, badminton, and much more. We enjoyed nature, and it was like an escape from the pollution and noise, in my opinion. Also, attending the online classes amidst the nature was a fresh experience. I'm very grateful for having such a great time with family. And also, I would like to say that my father always managed his time perfectly by spending time with all of us, even in his busy schedule. And then coming to my mother, oh God, she used to make lots and lots of delicious food and made our tummy full throughout the day. I am blessed to have such a lovely parent. So, my dear Toastmasters, this experience made me to realize that no love is greater than mother's love, and no care is greater than father's care. Lastly, I would like to say that life is short. So I request everyone to spend quality time with your family and create memorable moments. In the same line, a person came forward to create a family to develop people's public speaking and leadership qualities with a positive and uplifting attitude. And that great personality who actually made it happen and with a great foresight was Ralph C. Smedley, who started Toastmasters in 1924 at YMCA Santana, California. Today, this family's membership exceeds 3,56,000 in 143 countries, serving through 16,800 member clubs. And one family is Mekon Communication Club, which started in the year 1st May 1999. A typical Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 sessions. Number 1, the prepared speech session, where the speakers get time to prepare for a speech on a subject of their choice as per the guidelines of the manual. Number 2, the table topic session, where the speakers are chosen randomly and given a topic to which they have to respond immediately. Number 3, the general evaluation session. This is a session where the speakers and the proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated and the feedback will be given. For an effective meeting, we have few role takers. As and when I call upon the names, I request all the role takers to explain their roles. Firstly, PP Evaluator, Toastmaster Shashikant.
Good evening, all. There are some set of rules to follow while in the meeting. So some of the set of the rules are don't do not talk about sex, religion, and politics, and do enter and exit during the transition of the meeting, and the lastly keep yourself muted. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Ujjwal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashikant. Moving on to the R counter, Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the R counter of the day, I will be making note of words like well, so, but, and any other repeats, and sounds like and well, and other repeated words. I'll also be making note of the flawless speeches. Thank you, and back to Toastmaster Ujjwal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Can I have the grammarian Toastmaster Shiva?
Thank you, MC Toastmaster Ujjwal. Firstly, am I visible and audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. As the grammarian for today, I will be making note of the good usages and not so good usages made by the speakers throughout the meeting. And the word of the week is erroneous, which is an adjective used to describe something which is wrong or incorrect. A usage in the English language for this word would be employers sometimes make erroneous assumptions. I will also be putting the word of the day and its meaning in the chat box. And I encourage everyone to use this word of the day, word of the week during their speeches. I'll be giving my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, and back to the MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. Now coming to the timer, Toastmaster Indrani.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. Time management is very important in everyday aspect of our life. As we add experience, time management becomes better. So in presenting time is important. In presentation, timing is very important. With a limited time, how do we deliver the expected information to the audience? So today I'll be playing a role of a timer. For prepared speeches, time allocated is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green card, and at 6 minutes, I'll be showing yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. So for evaluation session, time allocated is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing green card. At 2.5 minutes, I'll be showing yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I'll be showing red card. And for table topic session, 1 to 2 minutes will be allocated, and at 1 minute, I'll be showing green card, and at 1.5 minutes, I'll be showing yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll be showing red card. So I'll be sharing the report when it is asked for it. Thank you, and over to you, MC of the day, Toastmaster Ujjwal.
All right. Thank you, role takers, for explaining your roles. Let's make it a great meeting. Moving on to the first session, the prepared speech session. We have 2 speakers for today. Before I call upon the first speaker, I would like to call the Guinness World Record holder for becoming one of the youngest distinguished Toastmasters, DTM Udang, to read out the project guidelines.
Firstly, I'm really sorry for not turning on my video just due to a network glitch. Am I audible, Ujjwal?
Yes, Udang, you are.
So yeah, I'm really sorry for that technical glitch, but I'll make sure that I turn on my video during the evaluation. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. The purpose of the first speech is for the member to give a short overview of the plan of his or her project. Note to the evaluator, that's me. This member completing the project has committed a great deal of time to build a team and developing a project plan. This is a 2 to 3 minute report on the member's plan. Listen for an explanation of what the member intend to accomplish. Information about the team member has built to help him or her accomplish the plan. A well-organized informational speech. Note to the value timer. The time is 2 to 3 minutes. With that, wishing all the best for the speaker and handing over the charge back to you, Ujjwal. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you, DTM Madank. The speaker has completed BSc, MBA, PhD, CAIIB, CISA, and currently pursuing CIA certification course. He has 24 years of work experience in banking and microfinance sector. He is currently working as a vice president and the head of internal audit in IIFL Samasta Microfinance Private Limited. From the past 4 years, handling a team consisting of 110 members spread across the pan India. His hobbies include reading self-development books, listening audiobooks, playing chess, swimming, trekking, and watching movies. Recently, he added one more hobby, that is doing yoga every day. The speaker is attempting level 4 project 1 with a speech title Compliance Process Reengineering. So please help me to welcome Toastmaster Prakash with a thunderous round of applause.
Whether I'm audible, Ujjwal?
Yes, you are.
William James has quoted that in any project, the most important factor is the belief in success. Without faith, success is impossible. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Last week, Monday, in our organization, I was called for the meeting. During the meeting, our managing director, Mr. Venkatesh, in an angry tone, asked me, Prakash, are you aware what is happening in the field? And why the branch compliance scores are dropping down? Are we having an erroneous process? I was quite perplexed as I did not expect this question. I answered him that I will check and revert. Further, he informed that to take this as a separate project and within 24 hours, he wants to know the plan. Fellow Toastmasters, many of you might not be aware of the term compliance. In the corporate, the compliance means adherence to the standards and guidelines issued by the organization to follow during the course of work. For example, as a Toastmaster club, we all have to ensure to follow the guidelines issued by the Toastmaster International to conduct the club effectively. This indicates that we are compliant or we are with the compliance with the Toastmaster International guidelines. Oh, now it is clear for all of you. So post discussion with MD, I conducted the brainstorming session with all my team members to ascertain the exact reasons. But it was inconclusive. Later, we all decided to have further course of action plan to execute the project. As a project manager, I formed a team consisting of our 4 members with the project lead. The purpose of this project is to understand why the compliance scores in the branches are indicating the downward trend. As a project management tool, we prepared the RACI, that is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed matrix to identify the respective stakeholders for the project. We prepared the flowchart for the entire compliance process to understand how the controls are built and which are all the gaps to be addressed in detail. To achieve a dramatic improvement in the performance, our project lead suggested us to do re-engineering. In simple terms, the re-engineering means the redesign of the processes and the associated systems and organizational structures. The timeliness for each activity were defined, and the project was proposed to be completed within 2nd March 22. Fellow Toastmasters, Woody Williams has quoted that no matter how good the team or how efficient the methodology, if we are not solving the right problem, the project will not be successful. So with our meticulous plan, we will ensure to identify the right problem and make our project a successful one. Over to the Toastmaster of the day, Ujjwal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. It was a great speech, I would say. Now, moving on to the second and also the last speaker for today, I would like to invite the charming lady of our club who uses her sweet voice as a strength, Toastmaster Dr. Arundhati, to read out the project guidelines.
Good evening, TMOD, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. And the points to remember for the evaluator is the speech is about a time when the member was a protege. It may be from any time in his life. The member may discuss any aspect of the protege experience. The speech should not be a report on the content of the Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring Project. And this is level 2 project 3. Best of luck to the speaker and back to TMOD.
Thank you, Dr. Arundhati. The speaker is a BCom graduate. He has a professional experience in cost accounts with a work experience in administration and agency in electrical field for 19 years and the financial services agency for 15 years. He is a certified lay counselor. Now he is currently pursuing paralegal course at IGNOU. His hobbies include reading books, cooking, and doing meditation. The speaker is attempting level 2 project 3 with a speech title Many Mentors. So please help me to welcome Toastmaster Vijay Upendra with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, TM Modi Ujjwal, for your wonderful introduction. Am I audible and visible? Thank you. Mentors are not coaches. Coaches are not mentors. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome, guests. Mentor's role is for an overall human development of mentee. It is for a long term. Example, Dronacharya, the mentor, Arjuna, the mentee. A coach's role is for a specific skill development and it is for a short term. Ladies and gentlemen, in my life, 3 mentors played a very vital role. In the year 1984, I joined TVS Groups in the cost accounts department. The then head of the department, who happened to be my first mentor, gave me some inputs, beautiful guidance, and the support, with which I continued there for 7 to 8 years. Why I say so? In the year 1986, there was a transition from manual operation to computerization. It is here that I could understand the mentor's ability to give right type of inputs to mentees. In the year 1993, I quit automobile industry and joined electrical industry, engineering industry, for the simple reason that I did know cost accounts, but I was not knowing much in accounts department in detail. After having joined that company, 3 months later, MD called me, who happened to be my second mentor, told me, Upendra, you go and sit as a purchase division head. I was shocked for a moment. Having a background of BCom, not knowing anything about engineering, and heading the purchase division. I told MD, in what confidence that you are asking me to go to that department? He said, I know what you have. You go and sit in the seat. I'll give all the input and guidance. That was his promise. Ladies and gentlemen, within 3 months, he made me to handle the department independently. That is the capability of a mentor. During that time, I used to handle with lot of suppliers. One of the supplier from Chennai, he got distribution of entire South India of an electrical product from GC Alstom, specifically magnetic relays. Then he approached me and asked, why don't you come and join me to take care of an agency line? I said, all these years I'm an employee everywhere. Now you're asking me to get into agency line, which happens to be business-like. Why you are saying so? He said, you have something I know. Come to me, I will teach you much more. With that promise, I joined him. Because the area of operation is entire Karnataka, I also get a chance of learning marketing and sales. Ladies and gentlemen, he gave me one major input. Every now and then, we think that we want to quit employment, get into business. Many people, or many of us, we get into business and we meet with failure. Why this happens? The reason is there should be an attitudinal change that is very much required to handle independent business decisions. Like for that, my MD gave me that input. So I could handle that for another 5 years completely. With the 3 mentors giving me all these inputs, I mustered more courage. Then I shifted to insurance finance division to know more about the concept selling as such. So I could establish there for 15 years because of 3 mentors who really gave a solid foundation to me. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for me to sustain so long. Or else I would have taken erroneous decisions in due course of time. Coming to Toastmasters, my mentor, DTM Subramaniam, is a wonderful human being to begin with. In my interaction with him, with reference to Toastmasters, he never gave or thrust upon his views and ideas on me. Instead, he supported me. He gave the right type of input very specifically. Because of that, I am able to improve day by day. I am thankful to all my mentors. Finally, I would like to say that mentors definitely are not the coaches because they see what we don't see within ourselves and make us leaders. Thank you, and back to you, MC of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, for delivering such a neatly crafted speech, I would say. Moving on to the second session, the most exciting and the horror session, the table topic session. Today's table topic master is currently working as a director at Logus IMS, a managed services company. His hobbies include music, and trekking. He is also a yoga enthusiast for the last 15 years. He also recently went cycling to Mysore to and fro. So please help me to welcome Toastmaster Prashant with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwal, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Table topic sessions help speakers to think on their feet and give a speech. So, without taking too much time, let's begin. Our first topic is your favorite song of Lata Mangeshkar and your views on the great singer. Your favorite song of Lata Mangeshkar and your views on the great singer. This topic goes to Toastmaster Lalana Murthy.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. My favorite Lata Mangeshkar song, I would say all the songs from Abhiman. Because back then, I was a fan of Jaya Badri and Amitabh Bachchan both. And that was the time, like, there was a lot of buzz and information around them. They had got married. And that movie also was very nice. Like, she becomes more successful than Amitabh Bachchan, and then it was all about singing. She becomes a singer. So there are a lot of songs in Abhiman, and they were my favorite songs back then. And to this day, I really enjoy listening to those songs. And coming to Lata Mangeshkar, of course, as all of us know, she had a very humble beginning and she started off singing in Marathi films and all that. And probably even she never imagined that she would grow to become such a legend one day. I think she was in the right place at the right time, as the two main singers then were kind of not suited for all genres of singing. And she also got into, I mean, all the music directors who directed her, they gave her the perfect songs. And she also made use of the opportunity. It's not only that you get the choice and you just sing. She also made use of the opportunity, and she's also worked hard for it. Nothing comes easily. She was also saddled with the responsibilities of taking care of her family and all that. So in spite of all that, she gave up so much of her own personal things. I think she never married, as we all know. So she supported her family and she also grew in her field, and she's sung in so many languages and so many songs. She's not only famous in India, she's famous in other countries as well, because she has sung a lot of songs in other languages too. So of course, Lata Mangeshkar is my favorite singer, and Abhiman songs are my favorite. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful speech and sharing your views. So our next topic is, which is the management book that you most like, and tell us why? Which is the management book that you most like and why? This topic goes to Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So the topic is, which is the management book which I most like, correct?
That's right. That's right.
I don't know if I've asked the right person for this. I am a person who reads very few books, but I have read one self-help book in my life. My dad has thrown many at me, forcing me read this book, read that book. For example, the seven secret habits of hardworking people by somebody, and
Stephen Covey.
Yeah, and the habits of rich people, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I know they are great books, but I have never been interested in reading them. And one book that I've read is right here. Rajni's Punch Tantra, taking dialogue straight out of Rajnikant movies and using it to apply it in life and business. And I think this is my favorite management book that I've read. Back to the table topic master.
Wow, wonderful, Shiva. You have started with a great book. It is also my favorite, particularly the 7 effects of an highly effective people. So that's one of my favorite also. Thank you. So we'll move on to the third topic. That is, tell us about the interesting stranger you have come across. Tell us about the interesting stranger you have come across. This topic goes to Toastmaster Indrani.
Am I audible? Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. The topic is whom I met, the interesting stranger.
Correct.
Okay. This happens once. I was not aware of a person who she was, but I wanted to talk to her, understand the way she was talking and interacting with people. I felt something was good with her. I can learn something good from her. Good in the sense, the attitude of what she had or the way she was communicating to the people was very interested me. At a first glance, I thought something is with her, some interesting things are there with her where I can learn. So I tried, we were sitting in a bus. So I couldn't go and sit next to her or talk to her since she was making friends and she had few friends as well. And then we were going to the same office. She was first day to the office. Then, okay, we can meet her in the office, I thought. But I was not sure that she's going to be an employee or a consultant. So I thought, okay, anyway, she's coming to our office, I can meet her, I thought. Then she went to her routine, means the first day sessions, the HR sessions and other trainings and so on. And later on, once she completed all those training, I was eagerly waiting at the training room to say hi to her. I don't know what made me so excited about her. Then I met her and for me something was running in my mind. It was a voice of one of my consultant with whom I had been talking, and her name also was familiar. Keeping that in my mind, I was trying to tell, you're a Helen. She was telling, my name is not Helen, and she pronounced it in a different way, but it sounds the same. Then I kept on talking to her multiple things, keeping consultant in my mind, and talking to her, went on talking. She was telling, no, I am not Helen, but still I continued. And the next day, I came to know either she is not an employee or a consultant, but she was a coach to the organization. So later on, she became one of my good coach to understand and to grow in my career as well. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topic Master.
That was indeed an interesting stranger. Thank you. So the next topic is India is finally on the path of legitimizing the crypto, the digital money in India. Your views on the same? I repeat, India is finally on the path of legitimizing the crypto, the digital money in India. Your views on the same? This topic goes to Toastmaster Sanjana.
Good evening to fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Even though I have very limited knowledge about the same, but I saw my friends complaining that they need to be paying taxes for 30% tax for whatever the crypto dealing they are doing at the moment. But I see that this is this way of legitimizing cryptocurrency is an introduction to regulating the cryptocurrencies in the country, because for the longest time cryptocurrencies were never regulated, and a lot of people lost their resources or revenue because of that. So maybe with this new change brought about in the 2022 economic budget, maybe it's going to be a good thing for the Indian economy and also the industry of cryptocurrency. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you for sharing your views, Toastmaster Sanjana. So the next topic is, if you were to build a farmhouse, what is the theme you would adopt? I repeat, if you were to build a farmhouse, what is the theme you would adopt? This topic goes to Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Table topic, Toastmaster Prashant, can you please repeat the topic?
Yeah. If you were to build a farmhouse, what is the theme you would adopt?
Okay, so if I would ever have a farmhouse, I think it would be on a theme of both a school and, not a school as such, but a place where students can come and learn, but also have a hangout spot. Because I have generally observed, especially my college being on the outskirts of Bangalore, I think if I actually go establish a farmhouse near that, because it's kind of outskirts, so I can easily get a property where I can build a farmhouse. I think it would be first thing, on free of cost, I could call all my friends, and we don't need to spend money on, TT and everything and go on. And we don't need to do that who has a car, and we don't need to wait for anyone. So we can actually go hang out there. And if we want to, actually study, do group studies and all, it will be a great area. I can also make it like a place where all the students and the teachers, after they finish their college, they can come and have a group study session. And it will be also a place where committees can be held. So I think my farmhouse will be a place, has such a place to hang out and also have a good, nice group session or a night altar before the day of the exam. Back to table topic, Master Toastmaster Prashant.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for that's an interesting theme indeed. So we'll move to the next topic. Your favorite city in India and why? Can the guest Mukesh take this topic? Your favorite city in India and tell us why. Can the guest Mukesh try this topic? Okay. Can our one more guest Shiva try this? Our guest for today's meeting, Shiva, can you try this topic?
Sir, very good evening.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, can you repeat the once again, sir? Subject?
Yeah, your favorite city in India and tell us why.
Sir, thank you for giving me a very good opportunity to tell about my favorite cities like in Karnataka. I would like to choose coastal area like Gokarna, Murdeshwara, like that, because it has very greeny area and it makes very refreshing on day to day. As well, it will be a very grateful for health and
Yeah, thank you, Shiva, for knowing us, making us know about this place. We'll definitely explore. So we will move on to the next topic. India's total health expenditure is 3.3% of the GDP. India's total health expenditure is 3.3% of the GDP. Is this adequate? This topic goes to Dr. Arundhati.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Please, can you please repeat?
Yeah, in India's total health expenditure is 3.3% of the GDP. Is this adequate?
Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters. Definitely, the answer is obvious to everyone. It is definitely not adequate. Regarding this, lot of discussions have happened in our field, especially in the medical fraternity. One small example was also discussed because I'm an obstetrician. There is a parameter called maternal mortality rate, which overall indicates the health of the country. Because I always keep telling healthy mothers can change the world. This maternal mortality is the number of mothers who die due to complications of pregnancy and delivery per 1 lakh women who conceive. This maternal mortality rate depends on several factors, but one most important factor is the health expenditure, the proportion of money which is spent on health. And very surprisingly, the conclusion was the political power and the attitude of the government on this expenditure makes a lot of difference. In the beginning, I thought this population, education, female literacy, all those factors matter a lot, but it is not. It is the attitude of the government and the expenditure on health, which makes a lot of difference. And this 3% is absolutely nothing when it comes to the outcome of health and all the incidence of diseases and the quality of life as far as health is concerned. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Arundhati ma'am, for sharing your views. Yeah, we move on to the next topic. Your views on performance of IPO stocks of new age startups like Paytm, Zomato, NACA. Your views on the recent performance of IPO stocks of new age startup companies like Paytm, Zomato, and NACA. This topic goes to Toastmaster Shashi.
Good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. Actually, so when I was in the college days, so we have one optional subject. I think it's the organization behavior, I guess. So there was a topic there was a chapter on this subject what you have given, but unfortunately, I have skipped that unit, and that the same unit it has came as a compulsory question in my question paper. So from that day till now, I was searching the answer. And I am totally new to this topic, so I don't know what to say. So can you repeat the topic once again, Prashant?
Yeah, I can also change the topic. Okay,
Yeah, please.
you can try one more topic. Tell us about the prize which you won for the first time. Can you try this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about actually when I was in my school days, so I used to play chess a lot. So once there was a competition, so I used to play in a school level. Once there was a competition, if if we play and if we won the if we won that chess competition, we will get around 50 rupees. So it was it was held by that local guy. That guy was saying that no one can beat me in a chess. So that I took a challenge and I have won around 50 rupees, I think. So in my around when I was in ninth standard. So that was the first prize which I have won. And that's it from my end. Back to you, Toastmaster Prashant.
That was a thrilling, first prize of yours, Toastmaster Sashi. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, our next topic is your views on countries invading their neighbors. Your views on countries invading their neighboring countries. This goes to Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara, sir.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. First, we have to understand this, we have to understand the concept of nation. And then only question of occupation of that particular boundary comes. I would like to bring in here what sociologist and author and highly acclaimed ones, Srinivas. He was from Bangalore, Mysore. And he says a country can be formed when a physical boundary is there within which you have a culture, you have a language. If you take, for instance, our country, it has boundary, no doubt. Culture is broadly same. Because I have traveled, I can say to an extent what are the common things. Languages are different, but adjacent ones are fairly connected languages. So if you consider this and you say, in this context, if you say those are the basis on which different nations have been formed. Now, when it comes to occupying other country, why that aggressor country is occupying is that he sees some kind of an advantage. In case of our China, the adversary China, he sees shortcut from southern China through Pakistan to the Arabian Sea. And South China, if you see South China, they want to have the full control so that their transportation trade is not affected at any given time. So there is self-interest in this, and all these things are done at the expense of other countries. This is what has to be understood. They disturb the harmony of the other country for their own benefit. It is called imperial. The British used to be imperial. They used to have empire building concept. Today it is gone. Today it is only for these kinds of purposes I have mentioned. But other one is that today you can occupy the other countries like we Indians have done. We are the suppliers of software to different countries. We have occupied their space. We are having our own MNCs. And if you take other cases, the one other case is soft drinks like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They are trading worldwide. They have occupied different way, and it is not occupying by physical or violent means, but peaceful means. Trade and the way they operate today in multinational, it's different without violence. So you can understand these are complex issues, but with self-interest in mind, the physical boundary occupation takes place, and I am not for that. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster A.K. Prabhakara, sir, for sharing your views. So the next topic is, tell us about your exercise regime. Tell us about your exercise regime. This goes to Toastmaster Spurti Raghu.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. This is a quite relatable topic to me. So a few years back, I was in a position where, I I had to go for, even if I had to walk for 15 minutes with my grandmother. I would huff and puff, and she would be like, "Begaba." So this was my situation a few years back, and then after that, I never gave a head to exercising or a diet until the pandemic hit. I did not have a lot of things to do during the pandemic, and I'm like, okay, fine, let me try exercising. Although I was a dancer for the longest time of my life, I never gave a head to different types of exercises and different places that I can go. Probably, I mean, different types like Zumba and weight training and all of that. So during the pandemic, I started a full-fledged exercise regime, which has probably changed the way I think, I would honestly say. I cannot go without my exercise regime today. I become a little cranky without my evening runs or my morning runs. It's a vital part of my, it's a very vital part of my lifestyle. I think I would encourage everybody to start off exercising, because I know how important it has been, only not only to my physical body but also mentally, how good I felt after. Things that felt impossible before, I would sort of change the way and think in a more rational way. And this was all very sudden. It was not like, I was always wondering, like, I was so anxious then, I'm taking the same situation much better now. So it happened, and with or without knowing, I changed for the good. And the key reason for that was exercise. No diet. I mean, diet would definitely help you. They always say the stomach is made in the kitchen. But apart from that, I any sort of exercise will definitely elevate you in the day and give you that boost to start off every day. Every day will seem like a Monday, and you can go for it. Thank you for this rateable topic. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmasters Spurti Raghu, for sharing your exercise regime and your transformation. Yeah, with this, we come to the end of this table topic session. It was a very enjoyable session, I would say. With this, I hand over the baton to the MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prashant, for magnificently connecting the table topic session. Now, let us have a short networking break for 5 minutes. Now the time is 7:29. So let us come back at 7:34.
Ujjwal?
Yes, Purti.
Hi, Ujjwal. Could we have 5 more minutes today? One of our values had a small glitch, so I request 5 more minutes today. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Hi, Ujjwal. Are you here?
Yes, Purti, yeah. Tell me.
The evaluator rectified the issue. So we
Okay.
could start off at the normal time that you asked us to start.
Sure. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Ankita, can we start?
Yeah, 5 minutes are up. I request everyone to please turn on their videos and we can start with the GE session.
I think a ballot is not in place yet.
Yes, sir, it's ready. We'll just send it out as soon as the break is done.
I think, sure.
We can begin, Ujjwal. Everyone's back, I think.
Welcome back, everybody. Coming to the most important session for the day, the general evaluation session. Today's general evaluator is a project engineering consultant. He is the general manager of Mecon Limited. He heads the electronic and automation committee, the coordinator of human resource development and the knowledge management systems. He is a founder member and the third president of Mecon Communication Club, a GTM, the treasurer of MCC for 8 whole terms, and BPM for 2 terms. His interests lie in science and technology, FIETE, which is Fellow of Institution of Electronics in Telecommunication Engineers, member Bangalore Science Forum. His educational awards include CCNCL, ACB and ALB, ACS, ACG and Leadership Excellence and DTM. So please put your hands together and welcome the king of our club, DTM A.K. Prabhakara, with a thunderous round of applause. Over to you, DTM A.K. Prabhakara. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwal, for rather very elaborate introduction. I have this somewhat, I would say, erroneous way of putting fingers into wrong kind of things that was stated. I am not a general manager of Mecon anymore. I have retired. So you said I am this, so I am not. I am retired. So you can introduce me as that retired. Whatever you told after that is right. And once I become a DTM, I don't have to be given the kindergarten statistics, CC, CL, ALB, blah, 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 and finally this. And that is a classical mistake that is being done in routine introduction, whether it is being the president that is being introduced, that she was in class 1, then she became class 2, like that she was a sergeant at arms, this, and it is not required. She is the president, and that is what has to be done. It is general evaluation is about generally viewing everything. I start with this because this is the very essence of that. And that's, having said that, you did a good job. You are a very sincere person as far as this whole thing, you have attempted to find out a little more about me, and thanks for that. And that's what perhaps you have gone through the website. Thank you very much for the rather, I said, elaborate, generous introduction. Now let's move on to the ballot if it has been put up on the board. And please give your best speaker, best table topic speaker, so that nobody is prejudiced about as soon as the evaluation is given. So I give about 20 seconds for that. Please go ahead. I hope it has been published. Yeah, it is there in place. Please go ahead. There is one error. GE is today in last minute. There's a change. I'm going to be the one that will be the GE. Please change that in the ballot. Revised ballot may be issued there towards the end. The reason for me taking over on a instantaneous way is that the original GE, Mr. DTM MU Bhatt, had to leave the meeting because of power failure and internet connection going off. He had a lot of problems suddenly. So he requested me to take over. He sent a message, talked to me. In fact, I took permission from the chair of the meeting to President Ankita and also informed MC about having informed the president. And I have the consent from that side. It is a formalization was required, and that's what I'm announcing myself that way. Having said that, let me move on to today's meeting. The first of the speeches was by Dr. Prakash. Evaluator is Udang, and I would like to bring in here the prefix Dr. Prakash because MC didn't make it a point to prefix doctorate, because I have seen in the Toastmasters, our website, my MCC website, he's a doctorate. I think whoever is in that pedestal needs to be put there in place properly so that we look up to him that he is an achiever, and that has to be there in place. So this is one thing I wanted to point out. As I go along, I make these kinds of small comments for changes. And Dr. Prakash, let's see how his speech went by starting with Udanka. Mr. Toastmaster with the DTM Udanka, please tell me, have you gone through the project specification and then are you evaluating? Please give your view. What do you say about that? Have you gone through that?
Yes, sir, I went through it and
I have noticed that you have really read out the notes to the evaluator also. Please go ahead with your evaluation.
Good evening, everyone, and Toastmaster Dr. Prakash in particular. I'll be evaluating your speech in 3 parts today: the points where you excelled at, the points where you can improve yourself, and the points where you can challenge yourself.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Am I audible now, sir?
Better.
Thank you, sir. So the points where you improved on or you excelled at, you started with the quote. Always, I'm Toastmaster. I believe that starting with the quote will grab the audience interest, and you exactly did the same thing, and you started off with the quote, and then you started welcoming all the members, and you start off with the speech. That quote really helped you in gaining audience interest. That was the really good point where you excelled at. Second, your eye contact and hand gestures were perfectly in place. You were complete. I saw you had a proper eye gestures towards the camera throughout. As it's a virtual, we don't have an audience, so we look into the camera throughout our speech, and you did that very well. You had your hand gestures in place. You had a proper required hand gestures were in place. Now coming to the things where you can improve on, there were a few points where you could have explained in a lighter way or in a general way. It was a little bit tough for me as an engineering background to understand mainly the RCAM matrix, what exactly that was, and re-engineering. Though the word relate to my profession, but it was little, if we could have explained it a little easier way, it would be useful for audience to get a hold on that. That was one place you could have worked on. Second place where you could have worked on is the virtual background what you choose. So I observed when you were moving to back and forth, and when you were using the hand gestures, as you had put your virtual background on blurry mode, it was cutting down your hands. Sometimes even it cut down your head also. So you could, while if you're standing from a distance from a camera and giving your speech, so kindly avoid to have the virtual background so that your hand gestures and your movements are seen clearly. Second point we can improve on is the camera placement. I had observed that your camera angle was a little lower than what was expected, and you had to look down and give your speech. So if you could have placed it correctly to your eye level, that would really help. And the points where you can challenge yourself. Now it's been a long journey in your speeches, and it's time to stick on to the timings. And I observed that you overshot time by 1 minute. Though we had a buffer of 30 seconds, after the buffer of 30 seconds, you overshot by 30 to 35 seconds. So if you could wrap up the entire session in 2 to 3 minutes, that was your time limit given, it would be really great speech. With that, handing over the charge back to G.
That was a rather compact evaluation covering different areas, and he also suggested what he could have done better. The speaker could have done better. And one point I thought I should slightly not agree is that when it comes to Dr. Prakash, he brought about some management theory, philosophy, matrix. All these things are important because by that kind of usage and talk, we move into a different space and jargon where maybe application will be there when young people move into that area. So with that kind of usage of words and talk, all of us get uplifted in the process. And to that extent, I would say I will not fully agree with the evaluator, but evaluator was right in some other areas, and he did it very well. In fact, he was very sincere about it and to the point that is required. And he was upbeat, positive, helpful, and pointed a way forward as far as the positioning of the camera, the background works like that. And to that, let's give the speaker and the evaluator a round of applause. The next speech was by Vijay Upendra, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, evaluated by Dr. Arundhati. Dr. Arundhati, please. Have you received the project specification material from the VPE, madam?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
have
sir.
you gone through that?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead with your evaluation.
Thank you. Good evening, GE, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, and Toastmaster Vijay Upendra in particular. First of all, I would like to congratulate you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, for your inspiring and enjoyable speech. I would like to evaluate the speech under two headings: what went well and the areas to improve upon. First of all, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra excelled at fulfilling the purpose of the speech and project. Regarding the organization of the speech, it was very well organized with proper opening body and conclusion. He had a great opening where he highlighted one particular aspect which differentiates mentoring and coaching with apt examples of Dronacharya and Arjuna, where he could grab the attention of the audience. In the conclusion, again, he mentioned the qualities of a mentor, where mentor can see something in you which you cannot visualize. That was perfect. In the body of the speech, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra shared with us about his work experience in three different fields: field of automobiles, electric engineering, and sales and marketing. And he shared with us one very, very important characteristic of a mentor, that is having trust and faith in the employee. This is a crucial characteristic of a mentor, I feel. Especially a knowledgeable and confident mentor can trust the employee. He will know how to train, and when to step aside. This is very important, and this is beautifully explained in Toastmaster Vijay Upendra's speech. Kudos to him on that. Because of this mentoring experience, he could also become successful in the fourth field, that was insurance field. Later, he also shared with us regarding his Toastmaster experience, where unconditional support and positive attitude of DTM Subramaniam could empower him. When we consider the delivery of the speech, the proof of the pudding is in its eating. The way he delivered his speech with confidence, clarity, perfect pace, pauses, flawless flow of words, he proved that he has become a confident speaker with his mentoring experience by his mentor. Kudos to him on that. Any good speech can be made better. In this context, I have a very few recommendations. Toastmaster Vijay Upendra brought in some characters, like the MD asking him, Mr. Vijay Upendra, from tomorrow you have to lead a unit. When such dialogues come into the picture, if he could have stood up and delivered with perfect hand gestures, definitely it would have added extra flavor to his speech. And again, I came to know that he utilized 6 minutes in his speech. Probably if you could have shared some of his personal experiences of Toastmasters field with some personal anecdotes, because he had time, it would have taken his speech to a higher level. However, it doesn't dent the impact of his speech. I thoroughly enjoyed his speech. I wish him all the very best for his future endeavors. Congratulations and thank you for delivering such an amazing speech. And now back to you, G. Thank you.
Madam, it was a remarkable evaluation. remarkable in the sense that without really giving the heading, you covered where he excelled at, where he can challenge upon himself, where he should work upon. Without giving heading, you covered that. And not only that, you pointed out where he could have improved upon the dialogue by perhaps standing. So even that places up there where it was required to be pointed, you pointed out. And one thing that I thought I noticed, and it is possible that the others might have missed, in certain portion I saw the speaker having his hand like this. Somewhere along, I think I may not be right, but I did notice it is very peculiar. And I thought when speech is being delivered, you don't have to really be putting hand like this. This is the position you do when you are bored with the teacher in the class. I would say better to be avoiding that. So as a speaker, keep the eye contact. Don't make the gesture which is unwanted, I would say. But your speech was excellent, and so was the evaluation. For that, let's give a thunderous round of applause to both the speaker and the evaluator. Let's now move on to the Tab G team evaluation. First, we will start with the timer, Toastmaster Indrani. Toastmaster Indrani, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. To start with the timing details, business session started at 6:21 p.m., which took for 4 minutes. Sergeant Arm for 3 minutes. President for 6 minutes. Master of Ceremony Toastmaster Ujjwal, 9 minutes 45 seconds. Prepared speech, Speaker 1, Dr. Toastmaster Prakash, 4 minutes. Evaluator, DTM Udanka, 2 minutes 50 seconds. Prepared speech, Speaker 2, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, 6 minutes. Evaluator, Dr. Toastmaster Arundhati, 3 minutes 30 seconds. And table topic session overall took 24 minutes. And most of the table topic masters, speakers, took more than 1.3 minutes. And the general evaluation till now it is 5 minutes. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause for keeping track of the time. She did a very sincere job. Next, we move on to our counter, Vaishnavi, Toastmaster. Vaishnavi, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'll be sharing my screen to give my report. So I hope the screen is visible. The members who are marked in green, their speeches went flawless, and the members who are marked in red, they had a few glitches in their speeches. Starting from President Ankita, her speech was flawless, and me, I had 3 hours and 1 hour right now, and 1 hour. And Toastmaster Bhavani's speech was flawless. Toastmaster Spurti had 1 hour. Toastmaster Ujjwal's speech was flawless. Toastmaster Indrani had 3 hours and 1 hour, and the word "so" was repeated twice. And the other words which were repeated was "then." It was a repetitive word. And DTM Udanka's speech was flawless. Toastmaster Prakash had 2 hours and 1 hour in his speech. Toastmaster Vijay Upendra's speech was flawless. Toastmaster Prashant had 1 hour. Toastmaster Ladana had 2 hours. Toastmaster Shiva had 3 hours and 1 hour. Guest Shiva Sajan had his speech was flawless. Toastmaster Arundhati had 2 hours and 2 hours. And DTM Prabhakara's speech was flawless till now. That's my report till now. Thank you. And back to General Evaluator, DTM Prabhakara.
What you have noted down is and ums. what you have missed is something that I would like to point out. Some of the words like and, that kind of stuff also we should keep track. One such thing I noted with one speaker was every sentence, almost alternate sentence, she would add and all and all. You know it, that all and all. You can check that. You have to, that is her crutch words in this case, not word. So you have to be alert towards that. If you point out that, that person will come to know and there will be some improvement. So you have to be a little bit more alert, I would say. But you did a reasonably good job, and for whatever effort you have put, and it has was I would say very sincere and dedicated kind of effort. It needs a lot of concentration. Let's give her a special round of applause for that wonderful effort. Now we move on to the PPE. It was that role was managed by Shashi. Shashi, please take over and give your evaluation.
Yeah.
Shashikant.
Thank you, sir. Good evening once again. As per my knowledge, there was no talk about sex, religions, and politics throughout the meeting, and there was some enter and exit during the speeches and in the table topic session as well. So apart from that, the meeting was flawless and it was good. Back to you, General Evaluator DTM A.K. Prabhakar.
Thank you for that. Your observation, everything was in place that way. Thank you, Toastmaster Shashikant. Now we move to grammarian Shiva, Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Very good evening once again to fellow Toastmasters and guests. And I'd like to commend all the speakers. There were a lot of good usages today. And let me start with the good usages. Meticulous, attitudinal change. Wow, I didn't know that was a word. Mustered, courage, saddled with responsibility. Beautiful. Legitimizing. And one more thing, Dr. Arundhati used the word obstetrician. I think we all should know what she does. She's an obstetrician. And aggressor, huff and puff, cranky, and a few quotes. Stomach is made in the kitchen. Very nice quote. The proof of the pudding is in the speaking. Again, beautiful quote. And coming to the not so good usages, or as I'd like to call it for today, the erroneous usages. Messes up with your sleep cycle could have been just messes up with your sleep cycle. And was the best memories could have been were the best memories coming to past tense. Started in the year 1st May 1999. It doesn't sound right. So you could just mention the year, or you can just mention the date. Spread across the pan-India. You don't have to say spread across. It is pan-India is obviously spread across India. Then the word of the day was used by both our prepared speakers, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra and Toastmaster Prakash, and our General Evaluator DTM A.K. Prabhakara. With that, I conclude my report. Back to the General Evaluator.
Thank you for that precise, meticulous way of keeping record. I think our president also mentioned the word of the day, if I remember somewhere. I'm not sure. If she's not sure, I'm not sure. So let me drop it. But you kept a good record and track of all the things that went right, and that kind of projecting the right ones, giving prominence to that reinforces what is right, and so that everybody gets a hang of those words and phrases that they can incorporate into their language, and it ultimately it uplifts the entire meeting. And thank you very much for that observation, Toastmaster Shiva. Let's give him a thunderous round of applause for that extra effort that he has put in. We move on to the table topic master. Now you can, I think, table topic master was Toastmaster Prashant. Toastmaster Prashant, I'll give the evaluation. I'll come back to the introduction given by MC Ujjwal. I think it was a very passing kind of introduction he gave. Prashant is somebody, some of the people needs to be put the kind of limelight they deserve. Let me put it just more for, this is more addressed to Ujjwal and others. He is a CEO of a company, and he has run it successfully for more than a decade. He was there associated with us more than a decade, and he has done it successfully. And to the changes that the market imposes, the company has adopted, and it employs more than, I don't think it was at one point of time 200 people were there under him, and he owns that company, Lagos. And such a person of guts, courage, who put the company together and make it work, he needs to be introduced properly and squarely, and that needs to be ensured. I would like to bring in here another aspect. Last time it was very pedestrian mentioning of another stalwart who is among us, and that also needs to be brought into point here. He is our DTM Amitabh Saharai. He is a global head in TCS of a particular product line. He's a global head, and he's a huge position there. And it is that we are having such people amongst us, and they need to be introduced that way, because their value has to be held up in place. This is what I want to mention while passing through this particular aspect of introducing Toastmaster Prashant. Having said that, let me talk about the table topic, that the way he dealt with. I would like to say he was some people asked twice his topics. He can make a PowerPoint projection of the topic that he has brought in. And some of the topics that he brought in were current, and you had to be sharp with that. He kept everybody on the alert mode. And if you missed that, it was not a routine kind of topic that he gave, but it was current. So one needs to be updated. Some people were caught on the wrong foot. And I don't say he is wrong, but I would say our members had to be a lot more alert. For that, I would say you should understand in the table topic that the everyday newspaper covers, I always say, plet, sip, sef. Plet is political, local news. Editorial sheets will be there, technology and science, and science, international, business, and sports. Then there will be supplement, and that supplement is about culture, entertainment, and fashion. This is the broad heading under which you receive the news every day. You have to be alert towards that in order to handle such topic. You should have the categorization according to that. And that's where he caught us on the wrong foot. He positioned the topic to the extent possible to the appropriate person, but still it was not manageable. It was challenging, I would say. For that challenging type of topic that he brought in today, it brought value to the table topic. Let's give him a special round of applause for the table topic master's effort. Now we have covered. Please give your ballot opinion, and I'll come to that in the meantime. I'll give you 10 seconds for putting that, because you will have already filled up, just as a matter of submitting. Yep. Now we come to the other performers who held the meeting together. First of all was the Sergeant at Arms, that was by Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi's speech was to the point, but it was little elaborate. It need not have to be that. You can say the one word, you can pick it up is from the dictionary, and you can allow some application. Okay, the first block of society is family, and that building block is critical. It is a first brick, and upon everything, the foundation upon which everything is built, something like that. And it's job. You are giving a kickstart to the meeting. You don't have to give a speech at all. You have put more than the required effort. I would say you're sincere, but how to kickstart a meeting is something that I'm trying to give. And you have to practice that 1 line, 2 line kind of thing. And it gives the push that is required. But the effort was there, and there is always some kind of a right approach to the issue. And for that, let's give her a very good round of applause. She's deserving round of applause. Then we move on to the president. The president is somebody who is really special. She has a flawless, fluent a kind of thing that is uncommon, and sentences always in place. Nothing goes out of place. Once told, it stays. And she said that towards the end, I was looking for that. Will she mention that? She said, keep your tabs, the Toastmaster logged in and tabs open to give feedback. Even there, only once you have to tell, things are always there. As far as she remarkable, excellent speech, and somehow she sets a standards wherein it's for others to catch up. And I would say he was talked about the change in the world of change. The only constant thing or security is family. That's what she was driving at, and she made it very clear. And it was done in a very, very super manner, I would say. Simply superb. She was simple at the same time superb, I would say. And all that we can appreciate in Toastmasters, all these things are appreciated in Toastmasters through only way the Toastmaster know, through a thunderous special round of applause. That's it. It was a meeting in line with Mecon's standard of that is our own, which is not perhaps never falls below the expectation. It was of high standard, and I enjoyed being part of this meeting. And with that, if I have missed anything, I would like to ask anybody. I think I have covered everything. And with that, I would like to hand over the control back to MC Toastmaster Ujjwal. Ujjwal has something to say, please.
About the MCs.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I missed that. While handing over. I think I covered all along. I have covered your this thing without really giving a heading or title. So I thought that that should be all right. And there is the improvement that you can really look into. I have told, and all along I have mentioned. I thought that the verse doesn't need any heading, but still, I would say that you are somebody who is there to perform all the time. That's reliability is important. In a cricket match, there will be some people who the captain consider that if he's there still batting, the world is in place. His world is not in tatters. So you give that feeling of kind of sturdiness to the club, and you are always there to perform. And that is very, very heartening thing. On that one fine line, I thought I should fine compliment. I should close praising you. That should not go into something head where it stays. Start working in a different direction. But you are very sincere, and we all thankful to you and that performance. With that, on that note, I would like to hand over the control back to Toastmaster Ujjwal.
Thank you, DTM A.K. Prabhakara. That was an incredible general evaluation. Before I hand over the charge back to the president, I would like to say that families are like branches on a tree. We grow in different directions, yet our roads remain as one. With this, I hope you all had a great time in the meeting today, and I hand over the charge back to the president.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwal. I would like to especially thank A.K. Prabhakara sir for taking up the role of general evaluator at such a short notice. And just like every family member is there for us at the time of need, AKP sir is there for Mekon Communication Club at the time of need. So thank you, sir, for taking up the role of the GE and for so flawlessly doing it and giving us all advice and feedback to take back and work and be better. We had an amazing meeting today. Thank you to all the role takers, all the speakers who took up roles even in the last minute when required and who've shown up today with their best foot forward. I hope we see such amazing performances even in our future meetings to come. Tomorrow, the link to stream the recorded version of the meeting will be shared on the WhatsApp group. So if you all want to watch your speeches again, or you've missed a part of the meeting which you want to look at again, you can use that link and you can stream and have a look at whatever you have missed. And of course, I would mention that please give Basecamp feedback. It goes a long way in helping the role takers to keep coming up, keep showing up, and keep pouring in their efforts into Toastmasters and their public speaking journey. Coming to the most awaited moment, that is the awards for today's meeting. Out of about 20 people in the meeting room today, we have received 18 responses, which is a good number. And those of you who have not voted, I'm sure you know who you are. So please do cast your votes the next time. Now coming to the awards, the best role taker in the TAP G category goes to the very comprehensive grammarian for the day, who meticulously noted down all the good usages and the not so good usages. Toastmaster Shiva, thank you so much, and congratulations on winning the best role taker in the TAP G category. The best role taker for the MTG category goes to the one person, like I mentioned, who's there for Mekon Communication Club whenever we need it. Needless to mention, DTM AK Prabhakara sir for the general evaluator of the day. Congratulations to you, sir. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Arundhati. The one thing I appreciate about her is the calm demeanor with which she says even the most serious of the things. A very well done evaluation, and congratulations, Toastmaster Arundhati, on this victory. The best table topic speaker, there was a pretty good competition here, but it's been backed by Toastmaster Lalana Murthy for her very beautiful response on Lata Mangeshkar. Beautiful response. Thank you so much, and congratulations to you for winning this. And the best speaker goes to the one who seemed to have grabbed all of his knowledge from the different mentors that he had, and gave us a very heartwarming speech today. Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, congratulations on winning the award. Congratulations to all the winners and all the role takers who've taken part in today's meeting. With this, I close meeting number 1150. Good night and bye-bye. See you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.